Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State. Representative, thanks for being here. And I want to start with this. What do you make of the Cruz version of the bill?
You know, unfortunately, we're on Trumpcare 3.0, and it's gotten no better. It's actually gotten worse. You see insurance companies weighing in against it, saying it would be absolutely unworkable. And you continue to see these Republican governors who know that there were tremendous benefits to their state and to the Medicaid population through the Affordable Care Act. They're not going to let that go unless there's a real solution. This bill still cuts $772 billion for Medicaid. It still would make the premiums go higher, particularly for older adults, and for those with pre-existing conditions, they would be out of luck in terms of getting affordable care that actually covers them. So there's still lots of problems, and I don't see how Mitch McConnell gets to a vote that's going to pass as long as these governors still can go forward in exerting some control.
Representative, let's say you are Mitch McConnell. What compromise would you be pushing forward right now that you think will work for both sides?
Well, I think what they need to do is actually recognize that the Affordable Care Act expanded coverage for tens of millions of people across this country. There are fixes that we need to make to the Affordable Care Act. Democrats and Republicans have both said that, you know, controlling prescription drug costs for seniors is one of those fixes. There are fixes that we need to make in the individual marketplace, but none of those things would actually be fixed with the bills that they're putting forward. They need to recognize that they should step back from repealing. They don't have a better replacement, and they should work with Democrats on actually trying to get some of these fixes through.
That's been floated is leave Medicaid alone, move on the exchanges. Would you support that?
Well, it all depends on what that looks like. You know, the way that they have been proposing it, no, they're proposing getting rid of, in my home state of Washington, for example, our exchange is one of the most effective exchanges in the country. And so our exchange is working very, very well. So I can't see that in states that have put a lot of effort into trying to get these exchanges up and running, that we would be willing to get rid of the exchanges. What we need are some fixes to the premiums.
Where it's not working, as you know, and because you vote on a bill, on a law that will affect the entire country, you have states in the heartland where it's not working. So folks will say, yeah, it may be working in California, Washington, and in New York and other places. Hey, but what about me?
Right. No, and absolutely. But the thing is that the exchange is just a tool. The exchanges are set up in order to funnel the dollars from the federal government, match them with state dollars. And so there are lots of models of how you could implement an exchange and have it work properly. The question really is, how much is the federal government going to continue to put into these critical pieces, and how does the federal government allow subsidies to shore up the insurance market? Those are the core pieces of the Affordable Care Act. The exchanges have been set up as a mechanism to implement the federal law. So the issues that we're looking at are more around how do you control the increases in premiums, how do you make sure that certain essential benefits remain covered, and those things are part and parcel of the current Affordable Care Act that Republicans have a problem with. So I think that's their problem. And they do have themselves in a bit of a box because they've spent 7 years trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and saying it doesn't work. But what they've now seen is Republican governors who say, actually, it does work. Yes, it's a huge law. We do have some fixes. But at this point, they should back off of this, because I'll tell you, it's also going to affect the rest of their agenda. And at some point, they've got to just cut bait and say, we were wrong.
I think there are those who may say that, we're pretty far. I thank you so much. Really great perspective from the great Northwest, Washington State Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Thank you.
Thank you.